PDAC 2019 Toronto, day one. We are still in the morning and already my third interview partner here. It's Mike Callahan, the president and CEO of eCobalt. And of course, we want to talk about the lovely project and Cobalt. Mike, good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for taking the time. Cobalt, a very hot theme, I would say. Yeah, e-mobility, everybody talks about. Now we see really the sale volumes are jumping since last year. This year might be another big year. Before we dive into your lovely company, maybe one word on the Cobalt price. Why did it drop by 50%?
Yes, it's
Makes
amazing.
No sense.
When you saw it, I tell everybody, when you see a big spike in the price like that, be careful because it's not fundamentally driven. And what we like to see is nice, good, steady growth. But in this case, the opportunity for the DRC to expand production, which I think people underestimated, and then the ability for China to ramp up their refining capacity, plus they have a lot of surface stock. So at high prices, they dumped all that in the market. Of course, that drove the price down. There was a lot of trading going on. So a lot of it was not fundamentally driven and not sustainable. So we won't see that kind of an impact again. But anytime you see a really high price, people take advantage of it. So.
Of course, they get mad and they try to produce as much as possible.
Absolutely.
I would call it. But if we talk about DRC maybe for a second, I thought it's very important to have like sustainable cobalt, like to make sure you do not have child labor, slavery, all that stuff kind of. Because I heard, for example, from BMW, when they buy cobalt, you really have to certify that it comes from, let's say, legal and safe sources, right?
Absolutely. That sourcing of cobalt is critical for the major manufacturers. I mean, for companies that are ethical and want to make sure that they're producing a product that comes from ethical sources, it's a real challenge when you see what's going on with the child labor issues in the DRC. A lot of that stuff is processed in China, so it gets commingled. Makes a challenge, and that's one of the advantages for being a North American producer.
Exactly.
Is we can do North American production. It's clean. We don't have the issues that they deal with, and so it's a real attractive opportunity for us.
That's right. So that leads exactly to your company. So what is the status today? You were just saying that you have done some cost measurements, let's say cost reductions to make sure that you are really, I wouldn't call it now survive, but really to make it into production, right? So maybe you can elaborate a bit on that.
So I came on as the CEO in October, and one of the things that I saw was the opportunity to make this project much more robust. So we took the project from 800 tons a day to 1,200 tons a day. So we're redoing that feasibility study. So that's going to bring our cost structure down. That's going to make the project sustain a much lower price environment. So it's really critical for us to do that. But on top of that, we saw that where we really need to focus is on the metallurgical side. So we've done a great job building infrastructure on site. That work has been done very well. I was very impressed when I came on and saw the quality of work that's being done. But now that part of the project, the mining and processing, that part of the feasibility study is really done. And so what we really need to focus on now is
like the upgrade.
Cutting costs there and focusing on where we're going to sell the product in the market. So now the process is dealing with the refinery. So we're not slowing down, we're just shifting our focus as to where we're spending our money.
Fantastic.
And with the current price environment, conserving our cash position.
Of course, of course. What is cash in the bank when you're just talking about?
Well, at the end of third quarter, we had 18 million Canadian, and we had a working capital of about 14 million.
That's enough for 2019?
Well, that was a lot of that was spent in the fourth quarter. So now we're looking at what our program is going to be this year. We're putting those budgets in place, and then we'll determine what our spend is going to be. But of course, we would like to do more work than we have cash, especially in a low price environment like now.
Okay, super. But I mean, anyway, you have invested, I think, what was it, 135 million is on the website. You have already invested into the project, so you are very well advanced, I would call it. So what is the game plan now for you this year and next year to bring this little lovely thing really into production?
So as I said, we changed the feasibility study to go to 1,200 tons a day. So the mining and the processing portion of that is really pretty much complete at this point at a feasibility level. The focus now for 2019 is do the critical metallurgical work that we need to do in order to, we're having conversations with the various refineries. And one thing we've learned is since we're the most advanced project, we're the first one to bring a new product from North America to the market. So now the refineries have gotten samples, they've seen what is coming to the market, so now we're having conversations as to what we need to do and what they need to do in order to bring that product blend that into their current facilities. So again, we're trying to stay out of the Chinese market, so we're looking at North American, European refineries, Australian, right?
Sure.
And a lot of them are close to capacity in some form or another, and so there's going to have to be some either capital expansion on our side or their side in order to bring more product, which is the North American product, into the market.
Okay, so how long do you think it will take until you really can go in production? I think you maybe need an offtake, whatever, stuff like that. I could imagine a project finance.
Expect this year, especially with the current price environment, there's no rush to get it. So we want to take our time, do this once, do it right, and make this the best feasibility study for this project.
Okay.
So I think we'll take the bulk of this year, we'll be doing that type of work. And we may need to get more material from the mine to do more metallurgical work, do pilot testing. But I think that the critical component is really to do the work that we understand what products we can make for the various refineries and what is the best blend into the market. Because most of the North American market's going to follow us. A lot of the rest of the stuff that's in Idaho and Ontario is similar, has similar metallurgy to what we have. So we're going to kind of lead this North American market into the refining space.
Fantastic, great. What do you think would be the annual production capacity then once everything is finished? I know it's a guess, it's a forward-looking statement, but to give our viewers an idea how much cobalt you think you can produce then?
We will probably start out producing about 1,500 tons of cobalt a year and 2,000, 2,500 tons of copper a year. So that's really the mix, and that's kind of our limit right now. But the project is going to get much larger over time. I mean, the opportunity to expand this in the district and even underground, the ore body is open in all directions. There's a lot more drilling that's been done that indicates that there's more opportunity on the property. So we're really excited about the project.
So that means there is room for, let's say, expansion, room for more exploration, and it's large enough.
Absolutely. My focus is to come in, get this built, and grow. I mean, my background is M&A, acquisitions and growing projects. So that's really the focus for me is once it's built, let's get it bigger, let's get it more robust, and then what are the other projects that make sense to fit with eCobalt?
Super. How would you rate the development of the US markets now, let's say for e-mobility, and of course, as a consequence out of that, for the demand for batteries? Is it really growing like we see it? For example, if you go to Zurich, Zurich is for me Tesla town. You see everywhere Tesla. It's crazy, So what is going on in the US? Because you have such long distances when you have to drive. Do you get the charging infrastructure? Do companies invest? I mean, Tesla is a big investor for sure. What have you seen?
I think Tesla is certainly taking the lead. And I think that the United States and North America in general, we're behind the curve compared to China, compared to what we see in Europe. I mean, the mandates in Europe, but you have Jaguar, Volvo, Land Rover, they're
Mercedes,
all going 100% electric, right? So
very big.
So the U.S. is a little bit behind the curve. We need to either step up or we're going to have to catch up. And I think that one of the issues, we have a large land position. We have rural areas where you have long driving distances. So that infrastructure needs to get built. And we see people talking about it, but it needs to come online. And
it has to be done.
We're falling way behind China at this point in time, for sure.
I see. Great, perfect. Well, then, Mike, thank you very much. It was a great interview. Lovely.
Thank you very much.
Appreciated it. And I would say really give us the numbers, make the thing happen, because the world needs your cobalt, especially in the US.
We agree.
Right? We agree. Super. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that was Mike Callahan, the President and CEO of eCobalt Solutions. And you heard it. The project is moving forward. Of course, they are doing the feasibility. And we look forward on those results for sure. And the US especially really need that cobalt in the future. It comes from ethical, from really solid and sustainable source now, and there's room for expansion, there's room for growth. That's exactly what we want to see. So the company can start with production of approximately 1,500 tons of cobalt plus 2,000, 2,500 tons of copper. Sounds small, but honestly, if you have the right margin, and I'm pretty sure they will do it, you make money and then you can stage it up. So I would suggest, if you believe in e-mobility, if you believe in the US, so have a look at eCobalt. Thanks for watching us. Bye-bye from Toronto.
Thank you.